What's going on, everybody? Welcome to the Uprise podcast. Today, we have a very special episode in store because we just had our first trade. Woohoo. Since Russell Westbrook got traded to the Houston Rockets. I think it was the NBA record for the longest stretch of time between trades. There hadn't been any action for a long time, but now we have Jordan Clarkson going to the Utah Jazz, who I think made a very good trade considering the position they were in. Mike Conley's out for an unforeseen amount of time. Who knows when he's going to be back. Now they get a scorer. They bring in Jordan Clarkson. They ship away Dante, Exum, who has 2 years left on his contract, making about $10 million a year. They ship him away. They attach 2 seconds to him in order to bring back Jordan Clarkson. I think that's a pretty good price. It's the price that the Portland Trailblazers paid for Rodney Hood. It'll be interesting to see if Cleveland values Dante Exum and plays him a ton, or if he was just used to make salaries match, because he's still somewhat young. He was the 5th overall pick in the draft a few years ago. So maybe Cleveland sees something in him and wants to try and help him fulfill some of that potential that he hasn't yet fulfilled. We'll have to wait and see on that one. But I'm here with Eric Brandt, as always.
What's going on?
What's going on, man? Let me crop your little window here to center it for you. I got you. You don't gotta move. We're gonna adjust on the fly. All right. There we go. So I have something planned later in this podcast too. So stick around for that. I have a little bit of announcement, something I'm dropping basically. Some of you might be able to guess what that is. But anyway. What do you think about this trade? What were your thoughts on this?
I think it's a decent trade for both teams. I'm hoping this opens the flood trade gates.
The flood trade gates.
The trade floodgates, whatever.
There.
But we kind of discussed this before we went on air. I kind of think this sets the market for taking on a contract that has another year left on it, about $10 million for next year, and that price is 2 seconds. Now, Clarkson is a better player than Exum, but in a trade, he doesn't have a ton of value, and Exum is still kind of young, so that's kind of somewhat of a wash, I think. So, to me, that sets the value as 2 second-round picks to get a contract off the books. So if you want to talk about taking on, say, like a Tony Snell or something like that, it might be similar value in that kind of trade.
See, if he was older, I'd say, yeah, you can kind of gauge what it will take to ship away a 2-year contract left around $10 million a year. That's considered a bad contract. But I feel like Exum is a guy who Cleveland might value as just kind of like a wild card, a lottery ticket. You know, he's probably not going to work out. He's been injured his whole entire career. He can't stay healthy. But I feel like it's a little different than if they went out and got a veteran player who wasn't a part of their future that's making $10 million a year over the next 2 years. Like, Exum's still young, so I feel like they might not value him as low as a team would value a Tony Snell or a Gorgie Jang or that type of guy, because those guys are more veteran players. So I don't know if that necessarily completely sets the market for that. Part of the reason I feel that way is because 2 second-round picks for Jordan Clarkson is pretty good value, honestly. You get a guy who's getting over 20 points per 36 minutes, so he scores at a very high rate. He's been very efficient this year. I think his true shooting percentage is in the upper 50s. So you're getting a guy who's worth 2 second-round picks. When you look at Portland giving up 2 second-round picks for Rodney Hood, Rodney Hood was playing worse than Jordan Clarkson is right now when we traded for him. So I honestly, like, you think you can read a lot into this trade. I honestly don't think you can, like, read much into this trade just because Clarkson is worth those 2 seconds. So who knows if they don't like Exum, or who knows if Cleveland wanted Exum to try and see if they could get something out of him. I don't know.
Well, so I think Utah ended up taking about $3.6 million extra in this trade too. And that helps Cleveland go from being only about $1.5 million away from the luxury tax to now over $5 million clear of that. So it does help them a little bit this year. Obviously, Cleveland doesn't want to be a luxury tax team with one of the worst records in the league, right? And then Utah kind of takes that money this year. So it might only end up being about $6 million instead of $10 million that they're paying for, even if it was just to pay. So yeah, I kind of see your point too.
I just realized I didn't mute the beat all the way. There we go. Alrighty. Hopefully it was quiet enough. Anyway, it's probably sounded good as a background beat, but yeah. So that's just a really good trade for Utah. Of course, it happens right before we play them. We play them the 26th. So with Christmas being the 25th, who knows if Clarkson will be ready to play the 26th. Who knows what the deal with that is. Hopefully he's not, because that's a guy who kills the Blazers. He's already killed the Blazers once this year. Now we're going to have to play him 4 more times, so we're going to have to play him 5 times this year. He helped Cleveland win that game against us, that awful loss that we had earlier in the season. I think Clarkson had 30 or so in that game, so hopefully he doesn't play the 26th, because Mike Conley's out. That's part of the reason Utah went out and did this trade right now, is Mike Conley's out for possibly multiple weeks. They didn't really put a timetable on it. Mm-hmm. It was very vague on how long he might be out, so they needed a guard, because they were going to have to rely on Emmanuel Mudiay and Dante Exum too much. Now they get Jordan Clarkson. We'll see if they start Emmanuel Mudiay and bring Clarkson off the bench, or if they start Clarkson with Donovan Mitchell, even though neither is a true point guard, so to say. It's a good trade because it fits an area of need. Now they have that scorer off the bench. Their bench didn't really have any scoring punch off of it, so now they have the scorer off the bench. So I think this is a really good trade for Utah, which sucks because that's just another Western Conference team that is incrementally improving.
Yeah, I don't know. Clarkson could be the type that kind of screws up their team a little bit too. Mm-hmm. He's kind of a me first guy. He has scoring ability, so that's something that Utah definitely needs. I just hope it blows up because he's not like Hood where you come in and fit in as a team player, I mean, he could, I guess, but like he doesn't seem like the type that would be like a seamless fit like Hood was for us last year. He seems more like a guy who'll just come in and start chucking,
Yeah.
So, yeah. Do you need me to talk longer so you can eat?
No, I was drinking, bro. I was drinking water. Be proud of me because I'm drinking water for the first time on stream.
Yeah, where's Alvaro to...
I know. No, I'm muting my mic. I know you can't. I know you probably hear me drinking this thing. I'm muting my mic on the stream, so I don't have to hear it. But I'm thirsty, man. So I had to get some water. Anyway,
we got a Jazz fan in here.
That's why I named it the way I did. So Jazz fans, you get some impartial reaction, some impartial breakdown on Jordan Clarkson. Yeah, he could. He's just a wild card. You know what I mean? He's one of those bench scorers that's just a wild card.
Yeah.
If his shot struggles, he's not going to help them whatsoever because he doesn't defend, doesn't really make plays, doesn't really rebound. So he's one of those guys that has to score to be effective. Yeah, you know what I mean? If he wasn't on average an efficient scorer, he wouldn't be a good player. But he is a pretty efficient scorer. I'm going to look up his stats this year actually so I can see just how efficient he is, but I'm pretty sure he has like a 57% true shooting percentage, 57, 58%, which might be a career high for him. Let me find him. Clarkson stats. Let's go basketball reference. All right, so on the season, he's averaging 14.6 points per game, 2.4 rebounds, 2.4 assists in 23 minutes per game. So 14.6 points per game in 23 minutes per game is quite a bit, actually. The 2.4 rebounds, 2.4 assists, that shows that he doesn't really pass the ball or rebound the ball per 36 minutes, just to get people a true gauge of what he'd be dropping if he was playing starters minutes. He's getting 23 points per game, 3.8 assists, 3.7 rebounds. So I guess the assists aren't terrible. But he's shooting 44% from the field, 37% from three, 88% from the free throw line. So he has a true shooting percentage of 58%. So that's an efficient score. Offensive box plus minus of 3.7. So he definitely provides an offensive spark. The thing is, defensively, he's not a good player. The past couple years, he's had a defensive box plus minus of -3.5, which that's not a great gauge for defense. But just watching him, just what I hear about him, he's just not a good defender. So that kind of gets me into my next point. I saw a comment right before I fired up the stream. Somebody said, Utah is moving further and further away from their defensive identity, and I definitely agree with that because he's not a defender. They just signed Bogdanovic, who's not a good defender. Bogdanovic has become average, but at power forward, that's not really the guy you want. So they're definitely kind of straying away from their defensive identity, which I'm not sure if I like that. They had such a noticeable identity. You know what I mean? They were an elite defensive team, and now it just seems like they're trying to balance that out with scoring, and I'm not sure if that's the right move for them. They definitely need guys that can put points off the board, especially off the bench, because they didn't have much of a scoring punch, but they shouldn't strip their identity away from themselves in order to get the scoring. It would have been better for them, in my opinion, to find a guy who could maybe score the ball a little bit as well as defend. But there's not really many guys like that out there.
The problem is after the Conley trade, they don't really have a lot of assets. They can't trade a first for a while, if at all. So they're kind of limited to going back to my point on if a team was willing to take an Exum, even though he has another year on his contract, if he was in an expiring deal, they probably could have gotten a much better player than Clarkson for Exum's expiring and 2 second-round picks. But with that extra year, I think they basically just had to take what they could get. And that's probably about as good as they can do. But as far as other trades or improving the roster, they're pretty stripped down with their assets now, especially after this trade. So there's not really much else to trade.
Whoa. All right, let me fix this alarm. This is off topic, but in order to try and wake myself up, because I always hate to wake up, I always have to do that. That's how I shut off my alarm. So, Eric, if you want to break this down more, I gotta do some math here real quick, because that's literally what I do to make sure I wake up. Is I have like insanely hard math problems.
So you have to do math to turn off your alarm.
Yeah, I have to do like 3 of them.
And just a peek into Tori's window, yes, his alarm is set for after 5 o'clock. That's correct.
Well, I snoozed. Oh yeah, it is. It is. You're right. I don't know why it is, honestly. I don't know why it is. Don't ask questions. All right. Well.
So Brian Scalabrine, yeah, it's Clarkson is expiring. And the reason the Cavs did this was, like I said, they save about $3.6 million this year, get a little further away having to pay the tax. That way they top of that. So it gives them a little bit of cushion, and then they add 2 second-round picks. And then on top of all that, they take a flyer on a 24-year-old, see what he can do. The only thing I don't like about Exum being on that team is now, I mean, they already have a guy like him in Sexton who isn't a good shooter and more of a penetrating guard. So
that team is just weirdly constructed, man.
Right.
It just seems like they're just a jumbled mess. Like
to me, it seems like they're just giving up on these next couple of years. They know they're not going to be good, and they're just like throwing things at the wall to see what sticks.
Yeah. Even the Sexton and the Garland thing, those 2 guys can't play together. They're really trying to make that work, but that's not going to work. They're not Dame and CJ. They're even smaller than Dame and CJ. And they're definitely not the offensive talent those guys are, and they'll probably never be the offensive talent that those guys are. So they need to move off one of those guys. They need to move off probably Colin Sexton is the guy to move off right now. He puts up good numbers, but it doesn't translate into winning because it's not that efficient, and he doesn't really make plays for others. I think Garland is more of the true point guard there. So I'd move off Sexton if I was them. Now they just add another point guard, a ball-dominant point guard. Clarkson could play off the ball a little bit since he's a decent shooter. Exum is not a good shooter, so he kind of needs the ball in his hands. So that's going to help the tank because it's definitely going to hurt the team, but you don't want to be hurting the development of guys like Garland and Sexton because they're playing next to a guy who has to have the ball in his hands. I don't know. It's just... And then you got the problems with John Beeline, who apparently isn't liked by his roster, and that organization is a mess right now. So this was a solid trade, though, in terms of getting back a couple second-round picks for Exum. They get... Or a couple of second-round picks for Clarkson. They get San Antonio's 2020 second-round pick, and they get Golden State Warriors. No, they. What was it?
You're
Golden
right.
State Warriors 2023.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. San Antonio's 2022 second-round pick and Golden State Warriors 2023 second-round pick. The San Antonio Spurs pick, I'm expecting to be in the 30s. That Warriors pick, who knows where that'll be? Who knows what their roster will look like 3 years from now? You know, I mean. Curry and Thompson are getting up there in age. They've started to deal with some injuries, so maybe that's a good second round pick as well. Overall, solid trade for both teams. I thought when I saw this trade, I was like, that's kind of boring, but it makes sense. Yeah. I wasn't surprised. I figured it was something like that. Was just hoping for a little bit more fireworks. I'm still hoping Portland can make a move soon.
This is the first.
I'm thirsty.
This is the first trade since the Russell Westbrook Houston Rocket trade.
Yep.
So that's a long time. The longest since, if you just take out like lockout situations, since like 1968. Dang, man, your alarm.
Bro, I literally. Let me just force stop this app. I literally just shut it off. I don't know what's going on, but I think I snoozed it for a while. Anyway,
Cleveland's in a situation too where so they still owe their first round pick if it's not in the top 10 this year. So that's another reason why they want to be bad this year, because it turns into 2 seconds if it's not conveyed this year. So it's almost certain to be in the top 10, so they won't owe a first round pick. But they do get Milwaukee's first round pick, which will probably be either 30th or 29th. So they're kind of taking on, the last couple of years they've been taking on salary with another year on it in exchange for picks. And that's what I would do too if I was a rebuilding team. That's what I wanted Portland to do. They kind of did that when they took on Anderson Varejao. I don't know if stretching him was the right move there, but it did.
Anderson Varejao got us Scalabus here because it got us the pick that we drafted Caleb Swanigan with. Which if that's what that ended up being in the end, that was not a good move because Caleb Swanigan, yikes! I never hated a draft pick as much as when we drafted Caleb Swanigan, and I was 100% right on that draft pick. That was a horrible draft pick. But we ended up trading him for Scal, so move ended up being good in the end. Basically out of sheer luck because I don't know what Sacramento was doing trading Scal straight up for Caleb Swanigan. But they did. Now we have a good backup center because we were willing to take on Anderson Varejao.
King's got a king.
Yep. So I think we covered that trade pretty well. I don't really know what else we could break down about that trade. We'll see if this opens the floodgates into more trades happening. I would like to see more trades just for the entertainment.
Yeah.
But I have something to share with everybody. A little drop, little announcement. Well, something that I've been waiting to do for a while. And that is we're dropping Mellow hoodies. So there we go. That's the Mellow hoodie design I landed on. These like the design isn't completely finalized, but this is probably what we're gonna roll with. If anybody has any advice or like differences they would want to see with this, maybe a tweak they would make, leave them in the live chat. But these will go on sale around the end of December, most likely. I'm still sorting out what to do with it. But the Keep Portland Mellow hoodies, it's a play off of Keep Portland Weird. It's a play off Melo's name. We got Melo wearing a Blazers Uprise hoodie, which may be foreshadowing a little bit, because that might be the next merch piece. And yeah, that's what we got. So I'll put those on sale around the end of December. You guys can get yourself one. That's our first merchandise piece, so I'm looking forward to this. I'll also do like a giveaway with them, and if you already bought one, then I'll give you your money back or something like that. We'll do some cool things around these hoodies. Also, we'll do a Patreon giveaway as well. Depending on how much you donate on Patreon, I'll do raffle tickets for a hoodie. I think I'll do it like if you're donating $1 a month, I'll do 1 raffle ticket. $5 a month will get you 2 raffle tickets. $10 a month will get you 3. $25 a month will get you 4 raffle tickets for these Keep Portland Mellow hoodies. So I'm gonna be pushing these a little bit. I'm gonna be doing some cool things around these. I'm really excited to get one for myself. I'm excited to rock one of these. And yeah. Finally got our first merch design. I got to give the shout out to the guy I worked with on this on this design. Let me open up my email because he told me how to credit him. Where is it at? Hold on, give me a second. Yeah, shout out to Jacob Detweiler, who made up the Melo graphic design. It actually looks like Melo. Like, there's detail on the face. It's a pretty detailed design. So I like what we got with that Melo design there. Might go just one color for the Keep Portland Melo, or I might keep it red and then white for the Melo. What do you guys think on that? Should I keep it like all white, or maybe all red, or keep Portland in red and Melo in white? Let me know what you guys think, because I like the way that red hoodie looks. Yeah, so that's what we got. Melo is playing tonight, by the way. Perfect.
Is that official?
What do you mean?
That Melo's playing?
That's what chat's saying, so it's official in terms of chat.
Last I've seen is he's still questionable, but might have changed.
Yep.
Do you want me to read some of the comments?
Sure.
People are saying to put the Blazers Uprise on the sleeve.
On the sleeve.
Other people are saying to take off the YouTube thing, but YouTube is that's how they know it's a YouTube channel. The Blazers Uprise. He's trying to promote his channel.
Yeah. I tried to put it in a way that it would look good. I could maybe do it under Carmelo too, but that would just make it bigger. I don't know. But yeah, that's part of the thing is, would want people to know like where it's from, so that they could go buy themselves. If they see somebody wearing it, they could go check it out themselves. They would know where to go. You got that YouTube logo with Blazers Uprise. Could help expand the platform, but maybe I could do something a little different with it. This might be the completely final design I go with, but I might tweak it just slightly. The concept would remain exactly the same though.
So yeah, it is official that Melo is playing.
Okay. Tanner Butler said YouTube chat equals official.
Yeah.
So anyway, I can
I wish that was true, but the other night we had some questionable things.
Yeah. Nicron99 aka Sammy Boy says, You're gonna have tall sizes, right? I'm 6'5". Yeah, I'll have sizes that fit somebody 6'5" because I'm 6'4", 6'5". Eric's 6'6", so gotta have something that that fits us. So we'll definitely have something that fits you. Anyway, so that's the shirt design. I was working on wrapping that up. I also wait, nope. There we go, right here. I also have a mailbag dropping right after this podcast, like right after. I'm gonna go hit up BlackRock and I'm gonna watch the first half of the game there. I'm gonna get that mailbag uploaded. I just wanted to get out those shirts. I finally got like the final like mellow graphic design, so I wanted to mock those up for you guys. So I've been working on that the past day or so. The Jacob Detweiler is the guy who helped me with the design, and he was sick for like the past week, so I was just kind of waiting for the past week. So hopefully he's feeling better. A huge shout out to him, because without him I wouldn't be able to get that like mellow graphic, and it's looking nice. I love the way it turned out. We kind of bounced back and forth a couple different designs, so he got me a couple different designs. Could maybe make them into like wall prints or something, like posters, that type of thing. Could start selling stuff like that. Let me know if you guys would be interested in that. We're gonna try and drop merch here and there. Maybe one piece of merch a month or something like that. So like next month, maybe a Blazers Uprise hoodie. The next month, who knows? I'll think of some designs. If you guys have design ideas that you guys would think would be okay, I butchered that sentence. If you guys have design ideas you guys think would be cool, you can let me know in the comment section of any video. You can let me know on Twitter, anything like that. And if I like it, it might come to life. Who knows?
Terry Stott says you should make some merchandise about him, the best pro sports coach in the Pacific Northwest.
I'll just get a graphic of Terry Stotts, then below it I'll just put injuries with a period, just to have a little extra attitude. Oh my god.
You could do an anti-Stotts shirt.
Anti-Stotts. Yeah, no, that's too far. I'm not that malicious. That's harsh, man. Yeah.
Real basketball minds know Stotts is no.
Oh my goodness. Hey, I did tweet out a Reddit post. Did you end up reading that?
What's that?
The Reddit post I tweeted out? It was about Carmelo. I will say this. Stotts has done a good job utilizing Carmelo, I feel like.
Yeah.
Like allowing him to like isolate enough but not too much, you know what I mean, to let him play like himself, using him as a screener a ton. I don't know, that Reddit post went into depth about some of the things that Portland is doing with Carmelo Anthony, which is helping him be effective, because his stats aren't that different from OKC or Houston, other than his 3-point percentage being up this year. His mid-range percentage is down, so that kind of balances itself out. So the stats are kind of the same, but it went into depth about how Portland is using Melo a little bit differently than OKC and Houston, and how that's helping the team. And I agreed with a lot of the points on it, so I do have to give Stotts credit for
nice
for how he's utilized Melo. You know what I mean? There you guys go. There's your monthly piece of Stotts positivity.
Terry,
we're gonna move on.
Terry says, "I carried us to the Western Conference Finals. Shut your ingrate mouths."
Yeah, you got carried. You were riding Dame's back. All right, bro. Come on, man. The burner account's in full force. I still gotta unblock Austin Wack.
Oh man.
Well, we got 3 burner accounts in here, man. We got 3 burner accounts in here.
Oh, we got yeah.
Like it gets a little annoying at times. Some of them are funny, but every stream now it's I want to be talking with people, fans on my channel, not burner account number 1, 2, 3, 4, whatever, that are on this shtick. Anyway,
Can we talk
what's
about
good at
my tweet from yesterday
what was your tweet?
about the Raptors?
I haven't. Oh yeah, they came back with. Let me just answer this question. What good at BlackRock from Portland made? I usually just get an energy drink. I just go there to get out of the house and start watching a game here. But yeah, Toronto Raptors came back from a 30-point deficit with a front court of Malcolm Miller. Who?
Rondé
Who's
Hollis
Malcolm Miller?
Jefferson and
Okay, yeah,
Chris,
and Chris
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 Boucher
Boucher.
at center.
That's yeah, because they're injured, right?
Yep.
And they came back from 30 points down. Because they played a pressing style. They utilized Chris Boucher as like they utilized a 1-2-1-1 press, and Chris Boucher was the top one in that press, and he kind of created some havoc. So yeah, they were injured. They were playing some bench guys, but Nick Nurse, I love Nick Nurse as a coach. He comes out, ends up down. He throws out this 1-2-1-1 press, utilizing Chris Boucher as the top of that press, which is very creative, something I don't think Terry Stotts would ever do. And it was a good move. And they came back from a 30-point deficit, despite injuries. They came back from a 30-point deficit, and you tweeted out. Read your tweet off for the people.
Well, it's not even about doing the press. It's just about like, okay, nothing's working. Let's try something completely crazy, like.
Well, yeah, that's what I'm saying. Yeah,
why not like do stuff like that? And that's what drives me crazy. Like, no matter what the game situation is, we do the same things on defense. So I just put Toronto just completed a 30-point comeback with the front court of Rondé Hollis Jefferson, Malcolm Miller, and Chris Boucher in their closing lineup. Don't ever tell me injuries are an excuse for losing. And basically, like, we've had Dame and CJ almost every game. I know Dame missed a few games, but like, you can't tell me that Dame and CJ aren't better than Lowry and Van Vliet, right? Would you agree with that?
Yeah, sorry, I was reading something. What'd you say?
Would you agree that you would take Damian Lillard and CJ McCollum over Lowry and Van Vliet?
Yes.
So
yes.
Basically, they have Ibaka played a little bit yesterday, but he's been hurt for most of the year. They've had Siakam is hurt now. Gasol is hurt. OG's been in and out of the lineup. They lost Kawhi in the offseason. They lost Danny Green in the offseason.
Yeah.
And they're still, 21-8 or something like that?
Yeah, I mean, like, there's people sleeping on them before the season. People
like me.
Who didn't think they'd win 45 games. But I was saying, yeah, I still think this is a 50-win team. Because the thing is, without Kawhi last year, they were like 22-7 without Kawhi, their best player, right? It wasn't, oh, well, we don't have Kawhi, so we should expect to lose to whatever team we face because injuries or load management, whatever, it's that type of stuff, I mean, like, great teams don't make excuses like that, and I feel like fan bases of contending teams, a lot of them, like, they'll make excuses if they lose, but I feel like this Blazer fan base has just ran. And not everybody, but I feel like there's just a segment of this Blazer fan base that has just ran so far with the injury thing, like, and just blamed literally everything wrong with the team on injuries, even stuff that injuries don't affect, and they've just taken off with this injuries thing, and then you look at a team like the Toronto Raptors playing Malcolm Miller, Chris Boucher, Rondé Hollis Jefferson, and coming back from a 30-point deficit, and it's like.
And they had like Terrence Davis in there for a little bit of the fourth quarter. Like, it's just like people that a lot of like even non-casual NBA fans like don't even know who they are. I mean, people know Chris Boucher because he played for Oregon, but like, it's just a mindset to me. Like, Toronto it doesn't seem to matter who's playing, what their roster is. The coach finds ways to utilize the players he has. And, like, Boucher is not a great player, but you put him in a press, and all of a sudden he's like Hakeem Olajuwon on defense, and you can't get around him. And, like, like, that's coaching. And that's why, like, I would never hear Toronto be like, oh, injuries, we have injuries, because they don't care. They're going to do at their best, and they're not going to use that as an excuse. And I feel like even the coach and the players on this team are just be like, well, we're doing the best we can with what we're given this year, and it's like, well, okay, but that still doesn't mean you can't criticize or you can't do better or do things differently than you're doing.
Yeah. I mean, you see teams all the time win with injuries, and beat good teams with injuries. We've beat one winning team, you know what I mean? People would say that's because of injuries, but a lot of teams we lost to had injuries as well. So I'm just so tired of that narrative. I still want to make that Chad Doing video just for fun, but I haven't gotten around to it. Now that I get this mailbag out, I can probably get around to it maybe tomorrow or something. We're not doing a podcast on Christmas, obviously, so we got a little bit of time off, so maybe I can record one of those. And I saw you before the stream saying get Tori to upload my Trade Talk video. In the video,
just teasing
you called it Trade Talk Tuesday. I was gonna upload it right away, but then you called it Trade Talk Tuesday, so I was like, okay, I guess I'll wait till Tuesday.
Well, technically, I recorded it last Tuesday, but yeah.
Oh yeah, and then we had to get.
You don't always put your Monday mailbags out on Monday.
I haven't been calling them Monday mailbags.
Okay.
Have you noticed that? Since I brought him over from True Blazer fans, since I brought him here, I haven't been calling them Monday mailbags. But today I'm getting out a mailbag on a Monday, so I might start calling Monday mailbags again because I'm gonna try and get them out on Monday. It's just tough on Monday when it's like we have a podcast and we have a game, then whatever. And those videos do take live to edit. I do really like this recording actually because I recorded it once, the audio cut out right after the start. I didn't realize until I was done recording it, and then I recorded it a second time. Felt like the second time's recording wasn't as good as the first, but I actually think this mailbag is still one of the best I've done. I really like the recording. I don't know if you guys. I don't know how to explain this to somebody who doesn't do YouTube, so like the chat basically. But if you play basketball, you have bad games and good games. If you do YouTube, you have like good recordings, bad recordings. Mm-hmm. And sometimes you can't really tell until you go through and like edit it and then be like, oh, my voice sounds good here. My voice sounds good here. Oh, I like the way I said that. That type of thing. Because like focusing on the way you say things is very important for me. It's very important for people that want to be successful doing videos on YouTube. The way you say things matters. So that's something I'm gonna mentor Eric on too. We gonna get Eric commanding the room.
I don't think it was too bad for my first video, but yeah, I was watching it. No,
it wasn't bad for your first video.
I felt like I could have been better, but
well, the first videos, dude, you should have seen my first video. My first video sucked. My first videos were bad, man. It's like whenever you start something, you're not gonna be good at it when you start. You just gotta focus. You just gotta self-analyze. You gotta focus on what you need to improve on, and then you need to work towards that, just like with anything. So,
but yeah, I held my breath.
Hopefully, you guys enjoy these videos.
I held my breath while reading that trade bomb from Woj today because I was like, please don't talk about any player I talked about because then my whole video would have been outdated.
Yeah. Well, I slept through my alarm and I saw. And Eric texted me at like 4:15 or whatever. We have a trade, and I'm okay. That helped me wake up. And then I saw those Clarkson and 2 second-round picks. I almost went back to sleep, just like screw it. But I was gonna go to the game tonight. I'm not gonna go to the game tonight anymore. So I should be on with the normal post-game show. I was gonna have Eric run the post-game live stream. I think he thinks he knows how to run one of those things right now, but I feel like I haven't prepared you well enough.
Yeah, I know.
Which is on me, you know what I mean? Because there's definitely some things like it might seem simple to do one of these streams, but it's not.
I know it's not simple, and I know it's going to be a disaster the first couple times, but I was looking forward to trying.
You just gotta get live. You just gotta get to this point. If you got to the point we're at right now, you'd be fine. Yeah. It's I mute my mic. I put up the thumbnail, and I turn on the beat, and then I go live, and I don't know. But there's like little stuff that goes into it.
Yeah.
So anyway, we don't have to go through that tonight. We don't have to go through Eric trying to do a post game show. Because that's the thing. You'd be fine if you got it set up. just the setup. I gotta help you with that for sure. So we're not doing any over under. No, I keep calling it over under. I gotta stop doing that because you corrected me a while ago. It's picks against the spread. It's not over under because we're not picking point totals.
We're down to 4 games if you want to do it real quick.
You guys want to do picks against the spread? We got 4 games left that haven't started. We can do it if you guys want to. Yeah, screw it. Let's do it. All right, let's do it. We got 50 people in here, so we can do it. Finish off this podcast with that.
So first game, Denver is 2.5-point favorites in Phoenix tonight.
Denver, easy game. Phoenix is in free fall mode. I'm surprised that spread is so low.
Well, Denver played last night in LA.
Yeah, it doesn't matter. Does not matter. Maybe the Suns have Ayton back, but I'm taking Denver there.
Okay.
The spread is too low.
I'll take Denver as well. New Orleans is at Portland, and Portland's 6.5-point favorites.
I'm gonna take Portland.
I'm also gonna take Portland.
I'll knock on wood, cause I better be right on that one.
Let's not got a bunch of Denvers. All right.
Yeah, and now here comes the Portland votes. We're gonna get a bunch of Portland. So anyway, next game. What do we got, bro?
Next game, we have Houston is 6-point favorites at Sacramento tonight.
Houston is 6-point favorites at Sacramento. I'm going to take the Kings, actually. The Kings are finally fully healthy, which is the case for the first time this year. They've been without Bagley and Fox for a while. So now they're fully healthy. Houston is kind of to me on the road. They win games on the road, but they don't really blow teams out. So I'm going to take Kings with the points.
All right. I'm going to be taking the Rockets just to have a different game here.
Wow, bro. You said you weren't going to do that anymore.
What?
Wow, just to be different. You don't want to go 4-0. I don't know why you don't want to go 4-0, bro.
Hey, man, I am 11-2 on the last 2 times we've done this, so I'm on fire.
Yeah, well, when we're talking about 4 games in a day, that's when I go like 4-0.
Yeah.
So I'm going to go 4-0. Anyway, last game, what we got?
Last game is Minnesota is 1.5-point favorites at Golden State. The always difficult to predict Warrior games against another crappy team.
Towns not playing still?
I'm going to look it up.
Oh, that's crappy game. That game's making me yawn.
As we've just witnessed over the past week, neither of those teams are...
I'm taking Timberwolves regardless.
Oh, not.
Wait, it's in Golden State?
Yeah.
I don't know, man. Chat, what are you guys taking?
Just says questionable for Towns.
I'm gonna take the Timberwolves. Just hoping that Towns plays. So for the Rockets game, I think we got Rockets.
All right.
Yeah, I'm gonna take Timberwolves. Here we got. Let's see.
I'm gonna take Minnesota as well. So we only have 1 game different tonight.
Mm-hmm. The chat has Minnesota Warriors, Minnesota Warriors, Minnesota Warriors, Minnesota Warriors. That's as even as it can get. That game hurts my brain thinking about it. It's about even. So I'm going to say Golden State, just so chat has a different game than us, because that's about even as it gets, and there were so many votes that, Anyway, so that's, there's some other games where we go live and we don't guess on games that
went 6-2. Okay.
Okay, yeah, go ahead. No, I had a lag spike, so I didn't even hear you.
Chat went 6-2 last Friday, so they are now above 500 with us. Congratulations, chat.
You know what we should do?
What's that?
Is there spread on Christmas Day games? Let's bet on the Christmas Day games as well.
Um,
I'm assuming there's a spread on those.
yeah, there is. I just don't know if the app has them yet.
Check that because we only had 4 games. Let's bet on the Christmas Day games. Since we won't have a Wednesday podcast.
Yeah, the Oregon scoreboard app does not have any lines on the games yet. They're kind of guarded. I'm sure there is lines on them, just not on that app.
Yeah, dang it. All right, then we'll wrap up this podcast there. Then, stay tuned for those Mellow hoodies dropping. Follow me on Twitter for more information about that. I'll keep you guys updated on that. My Twitter is @ToryJonesYT. Been getting a lot of traction on there lately. I'm enjoying that. Eric's Twitter is @HoopsJock. You guys gotta go follow him. He has a lot of good tweets. So go follow me. Go follow Eric. Go follow the channel Go follow the channel as well. I gotta mess up once an intro. Go follow the channel as well.
Outro.
The channel's Twitter. You just made me say Twitter.
Twitter.
The channel's Twitter is @Blazers Uprise. That's easy because that's the channel name. My Twitter's @ToryJonesYT. His Twitter is @HoopsJock. There we go. I got through that. So we're ready to wrap up this podcast.
The way you just said Twitter makes me think you're not going to be good if you ever do that rap.
Why?
I don't know.
You trying to compare me accidentally saying something wrong because you were talking over the top to me to rapping? Or
I'm
you
the new boy.
Me?
Nope, I'm not talking about that.
Yeah, no, that's not even. I'm not even gonna have to do it because I'm not getting. I mean, we'll see if chat can get $100 in donations in one stream, but that's I made it high for a reason.
Yeah,
I made it high for a reason. But you can't say I'd struggle with that because of me messing up.
I know, I was joking.
I know, I just got shut down the premature hate.
It just
if you hate after it comes out, you're probably right. Probably deserve the hate after it comes out, but I don't need the hate before. So, who knows if it's even got anything. So I don't need you hating on me already. I haven't even done anything yet.
My bad.
And you made me say Twitter. But oh my god. I can control my voice to a certain level.
Sure.
I can control my inflection, my tone to a certain level that you still gotta learn. So I don't want to hear nothing from Eric Brandt about how I sound because I'm the veteran here.
Hey man, I got some hidden rap skills too.
Oh, cringe. Okay, let's just go shut off this podcast.
But Blazers tonight, like we talked about with the Warriors game, Pelicans are 7-23 or something like that. So you don't want to lose to them a second time and have 2 of their 8 wins be against us. That's horrible.
Yeah.
So just do whatever it takes to win this game. I don't care how it is. Just win the game.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Shut down Brandon Ingram. That's what you gotta do. Leo says Tory's tweets be getting saucy. My Twitter is saucy. That's why you should go follow me. My name is Twitter Tory. That wouldn't be a bad name. Anyway, we got the People's Mix spamming the chat, so that means I have to shut it down. Thank you guys for tuning in for this podcast, and that's a wrap. So as always, actually not as always, have a Merry Christmas, all right? Because we won't catch you. Actually, we'll catch you on the post game stream tonight probably. So we'll catch you guys then, but. For those of you who won't see us again, have a Merry Christmas. I don't know why I'm doing the peace out thing off my hat. Merry Christmas, but have a Merry Christmas.
You're doing the Bazemore almost.
Oh my! I'm going to. Yeah, we're just gonna. Nope. We're just gonna. Yep. Okay. There we go. Don't want to see that again. So yeah, have a Merry Christmas. Catch us tonight on the post game show if you can. Hopefully that's a good post game show. Hopefully Blazers take care of business tonight. So that wraps this up. We'll catch you guys later. As always, peace. Peace out. Go Blazers.